Professor Crumble taps a tiny glowing rectangle, no bigger than a coin, leans close, and wonders how an entire human being got folded inside it. The rectangle is a single link, one small blue door that promises to hold everything a person has ever made, sold, or desperately wanted someone to notice. This is the story of one hopeful clay creator who only wanted to be findable and accidentally crowned himself ruler of a very crowded little kingdom. Meet our hero, the hopeful creator, a small clay figure with a phone, a big dream, and exactly one allowed link beneath his tiny online face. The rule was simple and cruel. Every platform gave him just one link, one. For a person who did 17 things that felt impossible. He filmed videos, sold mugs, wrote a newsletter, hosted a podcast nobody requested, and taught side hustles to people starting side hustles about side hustles. All of it needed somewhere to live. But the link slot was the size of a keyhole, and his ambitions were the size of a flea market. So one glittering night, a visitor arrived, the bio-link king, a tiny pompous monarch, wearing a tall crown, built entirely from little clickable buttons. "Give me your one link," the king offered grandly, "and I will build a whole kingdom behind it, big enough to hold absolutely everything you are." The creator handed over his single precious link. The king clapped twice, and a tiny cardboard castle popped up, hidden politely behind one humble blue door. Inside it was glorious. A neat little hall with a few tidy doors, one for the videos, one for the mugs, one for the unrequested podcast. Visitors clicked the link, stepped inside, found exactly what they came for, and left happy. For one shining week, the kingdom worked beautifully. Then the creator started a second newsletter. Naturally, that needed a door. The king smiled warmly and nailed a fresh button onto the wall. Then a shop. Then a second shop. Then a link to the first shop from inside the second shop for reasons nobody could explain. Every new idea became a new door. The king adored doors. More doors meant more buttons, and more buttons meant a taller, shinier crown for him. Soon, the tidy hall had 12 doors, then 20, then a staircase of buttons spiraling up into a ceiling that kept politely rising to fit them all. He added a door for a charity, a door for a course, and a door that linked to a list of all his other lists of links. The bio-link king grew taller with every button. His crown, now a glittering skyscraper of tiny clickable promises, balanced on one small anxious head. Visitors began to hesitate at the entrance. They had come for a single mug. Now they faced a towering wall of 47 identical glowing buttons. A confused little clay visitor stood frozen in the doorway, reading button after button, slowly aging as the options refused to ever stop multiplying. "Where is the mug?" the visitor whispered. "The mug is behind door 31, past the podcast, beside the newsletter about the other newsletter." Most visitors did the sensible thing. They clicked once, saw the wall of doors, felt very tired, and backed out of the kingdom forever. The creator did not notice. He was too busy decorating. A new venture meant a new door, and a new door felt exactly like progress. He stopped asking what people came for. He only asked what else he could add. The kingdom was no longer a map. It was a horde. The bio-link king encouraged him warmly. "Add the merch door," he urged. "Add the booking door. Add a door that links to your doors." Each suggestion sounded helpful. Each one was another button, and every button made the entrance heavier, slower, and just a little more impossible to actually enter. The little blue door at the front now groaned under the weight of an entire civilization, crammed into a space meant for exactly one link. The creator added a pop-up. The pop-up had its own pop-up. The second pop-up begged visitors to join a newsletter about the kingdom's upcoming newsletters. He was proud. "Look how much I contain," he announced, gesturing at a wall so full of buttons it had stopped looking like a wall. But containing everything is not the same as being found. The kingdom held all of him and somehow showed none of him at once. A loyal old fan visited hoping to rewatch the videos that started it all. She clicked in, met the wall, and could not locate a single one. She remembered when there was just one tidy hall. Now there was a cathedral of choices, and choosing anything at all had become impossible. She left without clicking anything. Outside, she searched his name somewhere else and found the exact video she wanted in 2 seconds flat. The kingdom built to gather his whole identity in one place had become the one place his identity was nearly impossible to find. The BioLink King did not mind. His crown was now visible from space. Every abandoned visit still counted as a button, and buttons were power. The creator finally climbed his own staircase to admire the realm and promptly got lost. He could not remember which door led back to himself. He passed the mug door, the course door, the dead podcast door, and a door labeled simply in faded clay, "Who am I again?" At the very top, he found the throne room. On the throne sat not him, but the BioLink King, comfortable, glittering, gently filing his nails. "You built a beautiful kingdom," the king said kindly. "Pity nobody can find the front door anymore, but look how impressively much of you there is." The creator looked down at his realm of 47 doors and realized he had become a directory, a very full directory pointing nowhere in particular. He tried to simplify. He reached for a door to remove, then froze. Every button felt essential. Removing one felt like deleting a piece of himself. So he kept them all. The kingdom stayed enormous. The entrance stayed clogged. The visitor stayed gone. And the king stayed very comfortably crowned. Professor Crumble watches from the edge of the tiny cardboard castle, holding his magnifying glass over a wall of buttons that lead everywhere and nowhere. The lesson is not that having a link is foolish. A small clay creator needs somewhere to send people, and one tidy door does that nicely. The trap is quieter. It is believing that adding one more door always helps until the door is all anyone sees and nobody walks through. An identity, it turns out, is not a storage unit. Cram everything into one link, and you do not look complete. You just look hard to enter. The strongest little kingdom's Crumble notes have one clear door and a sign that says where it goes. The rest is just decorative buttons. He taps the original little blue door, the humble one from week 1, still tucked somewhere beneath the rubble of 46 newer, louder, lonelier doors. Somewhere, a fresh, hopeful creator is handed a single link, and a glittering visitor in a button crown leans in to whisper a familiar promise. "I can hold everything you are," the BioLink King says warmly. Professor Crumble closes the castle gate and lets the empty hallway finish the joke for him.